Oh, so that's awesome. Great to know.
All right, top 5 names to know after week 0. I thought this would be a good time to introduce some of the people we saw this weekend that you may hear a lot about, or maybe not so much after this week. But top 5 great performances this last week. Number 5, University of Hawaii wide receiver Pofele Ashlock, 7 catches, 127 yards and a touchdown. That game was probably a lot closer than Vanderbilt thought it was going to be. And Clark Lee has been selling hard trying to sell the belief that this is a kind of doing what Scott Drew did at Baylor. Mm-hmm. When he came here, I've seen the clip because his 20th anniversary was just last week, and they came to win a national championship, and 20 years later they did, or 18 years later they did. Unfortunately for Clark Lee, I don't think anybody's going to give him 18 years to try to do that, even in the SEC being Vanderbilt and kind of having a bit of more rope there because you've got more of a mountain to climb. But Hawaii, back to Ashlock, really good. That was a good game the other night, back and forth. Not sure how I feel about either team. I was impressed with Hawaii given everything that they're going through just outside of what's gone on in Maui. I mean, they're on Oahu, but they don't play in their big stadium. They're in their practice facility. It's been pretty hard. They're all the way in Nashville playing the game, and it was a really good one the other night.
I didn't get to watch that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good win for Vanderbilt from the standpoint of not winning that game would have felt like a disastrous start to the season and everything that they're trying to build there in Nashville. They got to avoid the jet lag, whereas Hawaii will now be dealing with that. But, they put up a nice fight in Nashville, and, Vanderbilt was fortunate to walk away with a win there. But, Ashlock had a nice game for Hawaii with over 100 yards, got in the end zone, and they got a little something with him.
Yep. Number 4. Also in that game, Jaden McGowan from Vanderbilt. You're probably going to hear this guy's name a lot in SEC games. He's, in my opinion, by far the most talented player on Vanderbilt. Had the long kickoff return, also 6 catches for 72 yards, 2 carries for 11 yards. But the ridiculous kickoff return where he just hit the Jets and scored. This is the brightest spot for Vanderbilt. This guy can straight up and down boogie. Looking forward to seeing how it shakes out for him this year because he is fun to watch when he gets the ball.
Yeah, explosive player, and they're going to need a lot more of him, but he was very impressive on the kickoff return and just his speed and getting to the end zone and all the energy that brought. I don't know what the future really holds for them as far as the rest of their slate goes, but, like I said a moment ago, it's big for them to get a win at home in game number 1 and set the tone the right way, even though it was a game they had to hold on to.
Number 3. Jaden Greathouse from Notre Dame. We know him in Texas here because he went to Austin Westlake. True freshman, was the leading receiver for the Irish. 3 catches for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns along at 35, including Sam Hartman's first ever Notre Dame touchdown pass. Jaden Greathouse caught that one. And as a true freshman, most of the wide receivers that are going to be playing for Notre Dame are true freshmen. He's already established some really good rapport, clearly, with Sam Hartman, and that showed against Navy. Now, granted, this is not one of Navy's best rosters that they've probably tried it out. First year under Brian Newberry, there's going to be some growing pains there, but Notre Dame did exactly what they were supposed to do in Dublin on Saturday, controlling the game from start to finish, running the ball well. Sam Hartman was very Sam Hartman, and the reason I didn't put him on this list is you already know who he is, but it was a great game for Notre Dame all the way around, and nice momentum builder to start the year compared to last year where they dropped their first couple.
Yeah, he's a big target. I thought he was taller than they actually listed him as, 6'1". Maybe that's because high school he seemed to dwarf over most of the guys that were covering him, but a big target, has great speed, also a possession receiver at the same time.
Notre Dame doesn't normally grab a lot of offensive players from Texas. I mean, they had Durham Smythe a few years ago that's gone on to have a nice little NFL career from Belton. But for the most part, it's kind of hit or miss. I mean, I've been doing the Earl Campbell Award, which solely focuses on Texas guys for close to a decade now, and I could, on less than one hand, name the number of Notre Dame guys from Texas that have factored into that award. So to see player already making an impact, but one who's a true freshman as well, and Greathouse is awesome to see. That might get some more Notre Dame representation for that award. But, yeah, really good first game. They got a trip to Ireland and had a pretty breezy time with the actual game itself. The reason why they were ultimately there, didn't have too much trouble with Navy, which, wasn't a surprise, but he was certainly a bright spot and somebody with a bright future ahead, it looks like.
Yep. Number 2. Smoak Harris from Louisiana Tech. This was my favorite player from the weekend just because he is 5'7", 183, and I think that 5'7" is generous. 11 catches, 155, and a touchdown against FIU in a game that was a lot closer, and I think that Sonny Cumbie wanted it to be. Hank Bachmeier, who used to be at Boise State, the quarterback there at Louisiana Tech, but man, this guy... super fun to watch. I think you're going to see a lot of Smoak Harris highlights when you watch Louisiana Tech this year. But, man, just fast, little, anytime that there's somebody that's, in the 5'7" range, I relate to that. And so I hope that
so you're relating...
Not
to
the
Smoak
183
Harris.
thing, but the 5'7" thing. Believe me, I live it every day. And, you're doubted if you're under 5'8" in this country, 5'9". People doubt you and don't think you can do things like reach jars.
So are you under 5'8" or 5'9"?
I mean, it depends on what day.
Yeah.
It depends on what day. But, if you're under a certain height in this country, people doubt you. And Smoak Harris has to face those doubters every day. Do I need a stool to change this light bulb? Probably. And
I saw him catch a pass, and all of a sudden he split a couple of defensive backs like they were standing still.
Yeah, it's easy to see why he's got the nickname of Smoke. I mean, he is fast as lightning, and he will leave a smoke trail for sure. But yeah, very good athlete, dynamic type of player that was on full display. And yeah, he's fun to watch. And I don't think this is the last that we hear from him. And certainly he's gonna help shake up things there. I think having Bachmeier there too, a guy with all the experience that he has, La Tech's gonna have some fun moments this year.
And number 1. Zachariah Branch, a true freshman receiver at USC. They're going to use him all over the field. Had a long kickoff return, also caught a touchdown in the game, scored twice. USC doubles up San Jose State 56-28. And, of course, the story in that one is that, San Jose State didn't really get stopped all that much when they were trying to score. Just USC scored a whole lot more than they did. But you're going to hear Zachariah Branch's name a lot. He is a really, really exciting true freshman player to watch.
Yeah, the little flip pass, that was neat. That was one thing. But the 96-yard kick return, and they needed it because San Jose State was hanging around. That was very explosive and dynamic, and it almost the way he cuts back was very Reggie Bush-esque without trying to compare him to Reggie Bush.
But you just did.
I did.
As far as without trying to.
The electricity, the way he runs with the ball.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, Lincoln Riley teams are always going to have fun, fast, explosive playmakers, especially on offense. And, that's a guy who is certainly fitting that bill already, and excited to see, who else emerges, because the defense might not be that great. We'll see. Time will tell ultimately, but that offense is going to be pretty good and is going to have some dynamic dudes. And, he was on full display in week number 1.
All right, Paul.